The Legend of Nayuta Boundless Trails is the dark sheep of the Trails series, seemingly unconnected to the larger Trails universe and with a different gameplay style. I went into this title excited but apprehensive. Did The Legend of Nayuta win me over or did my concerns bear fruit? I'm Kevin from Save the Game Media, and in today's video, we're going to break down my time with The Legend of Nayuta Boundless Trails. If you're new here and like day one reviews, hit that subscribe button. But before we get started, I do have to give a quick shout out and thank you to NIS America and Falcom for providing the code for this review. The Legend of Nayuta puts you into the role of Nayuta Herschel, a curious, kind-hearted young man returning from a voyage with his best friend. Nayuta loves learning and researching the world and all of its mysteries, which, after a star shower one night, where a ruin crashes down in his town, leads to him discovering an entire new world, he cannot wait to explore it. However, the other world is being threatened with destruction at the hands of two mysterious figures, and of course, the one who steps up to save the world is Nayuta. With the help of Noi, a fairy from the other world, you're going to explore the continents, gather magic gears, and fight to save this world. I think the general premise of the game is fine. It's not revolutionary by any means, but the characters are all incredibly likable, and there's enough mystery to keep you engaged. You want to find out why they want to destroy this world. What is the mysterious world in the first place? And that stuff keeps you going. There was one really good plot twist that took me by surprise, but if you've easily put off by tropiness, you might not be fond of the story. Now, there isn't really much to say about the story without spoilers. It's your standard JRPG anime affair. So let's chat gameplay. I've often heard this game referred to as the Trails story meets Ease gameplay. And being a huge fan of both of those series, I said, sign me up. Now, there are positives and negatives to the gameplay of Nayuta. Firstly, it's an action RPG much like the Ys series, but unlike the Ys series, the gameplay is nowhere near as fluid. The attacks are basic, the combos are just tapping the same button over and over again, and the magic attacks are tied to Noi, the fairy, so you can switch through a max of 4 spells, and then you just tap the square button over and over to use them. There are limited stocks on the magic, but if you just wait, they'll replenish. If you hit enemies with a normal attack, they'll replenish. I never really felt like I was really thinking all that much about the gameplay. The gameplay loop is very arcadey. The majority of the time you're going to spend in the other world known as Terra, and here you have a world map where you can select stages and run through these stages, ranging from 3 to 10 minutes long if you really take your time. You'll fight enemies, collect crystals, and solve a few puzzles. Then at the end, you're going to get a score based on how you perform. The score will provide you with additional crystals and allow you to learn new moves. This is not at all what I expected, as I really thought going in it was going to be more of a Trails or Ease standard affair, but I'm sure that the world map and gameplay design was due to the limitations of the PSP, which is originally released on. The gameplay loop is fun enough, but the fact that some levels provide no story progression is disappointing and makes them feel like filler areas to pad the runtime. This isn't to say the game isn't fun because it is. It's also not that long. I beat it in just around 10 hours. However, I did notice that some issues occur when playing on high speed mode. Often you won't be able to double jump high enough or at all when playing in this mode, and that became incredibly frustrating having to toggle it on and off because it can be a bit jarring going from a really fast to a very slow normal Falcom animation style. The levels do have some replayability. As you progress through the game, you'll be able to change the season or you'll unlock new abilities which will allow you to have a different experience or access new areas of the level if you were to go back, which you will have to do at certain points. And I went back every time there was a new season unlocked just to see what changed. But ultimately, you really only have to go to a select stages to progress the story, and everything else is optional for grinding, getting more crystals, getting better gear. When not running the stages in Terra, you can handle requests given to you at the mailbox on Remnant Isle. I found these for the most part not great. They're mainly fetch quests more often than not, and I just can't understand why Falcom's side quests tend to be like this. This is very indicative of my experience with other Falcon games. I know there are great side quests hidden in places in the Trails games, for example, but they really don't do a good job in making these feel rewarding. What I do love about this game is the level of equipment customization and how it actually influences your playstyle. Nayuta can have two or one handed weapons, which will affect attack speed and combos. Equipping him with armor actually changes his appearance and can provide useful status effects. The Legend of Nayuta Boundless Trails originally released as a PSP game in 2012, and oh boy, does it show. Even playing the PS4 version on my PS5, the game shows its age. The resolution is improved, but the character models and textures in this game certainly look dated. But the graphics aren't everything when it comes to a JRPG. The Legend of Nayuta Boundless Trails is a game with wonderful characters, a good overall story, and fun arcadey gameplay. This outweighs the negatives for me and therefore makes it an easy recommendation, especially at a $50 price point. With most games releasing much higher than that these days, the quality you get here is well worth it. So that is my review of The Legend of Nayuta Boundless Trails. Once again, thank you to NIS America for providing a code. Let me know your thoughts on the game or if you're going to pick it up. Until next time, I've been Kevin for Save the Game Media. See ya.